Hey, hi everyone, this is Tim, and Easter's coming up, a couple of days, which means that I'll be going over to my parents' house, and I get to ask my mother my favorite question that I ask her pretty much every time I see her. And that's, I always ask her, I go, Mom, when did I go bad? Like, when did I turn rotten? Where was that turning point in my life? And she always says the same exact thing. She goes, when you were 9, when your father brought you to that carnival. Yeah. Yeah, that might have been the best summer of my entire life. I was 9. Let's just say they were formative years. They were good times. So, my father was a leather craftsman, and my mother used to do like dolls and pom poms and shit like that. And we would, on the weekends, instead of having like a normal life playing baseball and all that good stuff, my parents would bring me to these craft fairs on the weekends. And a lot of these craft fairs, they were also like swap meets and junk you would probably get on eBay now. And but it was nice. But one year, my mother really wasn't able to make the commitment to do it. And so it was just me and my father. This year in particular, we traveled around with, on Long Island, probably everywhere, but the fire departments, they always have their carnivals. And this carnival on Long Island was ran by a company called Silver Dollar Entertainment or something to that effect. And essentially, it was the same exact carnival with the same exact workers, and they would just move from town, weekend here, weekend here, weekend here. And this happened all throughout the summer. Now, with the carnivals, they would also sell merchant space. So that is, my father rented the merchant space for the week, excuse me, for the summer, and we on the weekends we essentially traveled from town to town to town, and I got to meet the Carneys. Now, my father, if anybody knows my father gives away everything. He always makes a, "Oh, just take it." So comes to find out that he's making like machete sheaths and little leather things that you would put rolling paper in, and all this. They were a what would you call them? A surly lot of people. That's a nice way of putting it. And but because of this, because my father gave everything away to the Carneys, I became Charlie's kid. So whenever they would see me, they'd be like, "Hey, it's Charlie's kid! It's Charlie's kid! Come on over! Come on over!" They treated me like royalty. I went on all the rides for free as much as I wanted to. I'd eat Zeppelis until I would throw up, and then I would eat some more. I was 9. Who cares? But the takeaway, but the best thing, the best experience I had at this was the meeting of the Carneys. And oh my God, at that age, these people are like magical beings. And in particular, this one, I don't remember his name, but he was, if if Steve Buscemi and a Sasquatch on acid both had a love child, well, that was this guy. Okay, he was tall, he was lanky, bad teeth, but very furry and quite odd. And that's when later on, never meet your heroes, as they say, because later on in life, you just realize they're all just a bunch of just toothless meth heads. These were the people that my father uh, let me hang out with during this time, and I still remember learning different games and such like that. In particular, there was this one called the Five Finger Fillet, which is the one where you see in the movie Aliens where they put their hands over each other. They took the knife and learned that one. Uh, there was also a game called Mumbly Peg, which you would take a knife and you balance it and you drop it and it'd spin and it'd try to stick into the ground. And then there was another one like that where you would put both your feet out like this, and then you would take a knife and you'd throw it between someone's feet, and then they would have to move one of their feet over until eventually you'd have to get it in, or you'd say uncle. And those were interesting times. I do remember from that experience actually. There was one time I actually did see a ride like like come apart while there were people on it. It was one of those sort of roundabout ones, and it had two people on each one. And one of them just like ripped off and scraped on the ground, and everybody freaked out. And of course, since I was 9 years old, I was like, "Yes, this is so cool!" And I'm just like, it was unbelievable, just an unbelievable summer. And then of course you came back to school, and in one way or the other, the teachers would be like, "Oh, what did you do on your summer vacation?" And there were always that one little kid, little Bobby would be like, "Oh, I want to be a fireman now," and the other one like, "I want to be a doctor," and me, I was like, "I want to be a carny." It was just, oh man, it was just always something that is kind of, I know it's hard to believe, but I still sort of have that dream of being at least a Carney-esque, okay? Because I would still like to not get scurvy. I think that was prevalent amongst that demographic, and keep all my fingers. That was another goal of mine that I did quite successfully. And so that was it. We packed up. We packed up and we were done for the summer, and we came home triumphant. And my mother never let me and my father out of the house together ever again. Ever again. That was probably a smart move. Um, but yeah, so that was my experiences with my Carnies. All right, everybody. Have a good Easter. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.